The purpose of this video is to teach the proper techniques of green screen video overlay, object motion, and time alteration. By the end of this video, you should have a firm and confident understanding of these topics. These skills will be covered on Adobe Premiere Elements 10, which can be universalized to any Adobe Elements product. This video will not cover green screen assembling, filming techniques, or any other video editing functions besides those already listed. As a word of caution, to avoid eye strain, take a 5 to 10 minute break for every 50 to 60 minutes of computer screen time. A list of potential materials needed, a computer, a second screen or device, as well will allow you to watch the instructional video and work on your project in real time as seen in the photo, Adobe Premiere Elements, and the necessary video clips which you will need. Before I dive too deep into the video editing techniques, I want to point out that in the top left area of the screen you can find the undo button. So if you ever find yourself in a position that you don't know how to get out of and you need to backtrack to follow along, this is the place you want to go. First thing we want to do is get the media that we'll be working with. So let's go up to the top right and click this icon right here, Get Media. Go down to Files and Folder at the bottom, and you'll need to find exactly what folder you want to pull your files from. For me, I've already pulled up exactly the footage that I need, so I'll highlight everything I need by clicking Shift and then highlighting all of these photos and videos, and I will click Open here in the bottom right corner. So now you can see all of the videos have been uploaded into Adobe Premiere Elements. Now to achieve video green screen overlay, I will pull down the video which I will be using right here and drag it to, in fact we want to drag it up to video 2 and audio 2. And it's very important that we do this because if we do it conversely, it doesn't work as well, and I'll show that in just a sec. Then I'll also want to grab the background that I'll be using, which I will drag down to video 1, and clearly the picture does not line up with the video completely, so I will grab the end by left clicking on there and dragging it until it lines up perfectly with the video footage I have above. Now what we want to do is click the footage with the green screen in video 2 and audio 2, and then go up to the top, click Edit tab, and then scroll down to where you can find Keying, the section that says Keying, and within there are a lot of different options, but you want to click Green Screen Key right here. So left click that, then left click Apply, and you'll see now that video overlay has been achieved, but we still want to alter this just a little bit to get the best footage that we can. And so if we scroll ahead just a little bit, see that's me. And as you can see, let's see if I can find a good shot here. As you can see on my pants, the red from the lockers, and even on my hat especially, the red is seeping through. And so what we want to do is tweak the green screen key just a little bit to get the best image. So we'll come over here underneath the Edit tab down here in the bottom. It says Edit Effects. You want to make sure that you still have clicked your green screen footage. Then you'll click Edit Effects down here. And now you can see right in the middle it says Green Screen Key. There's a little triangle off to the left. Left click that and it will open saying Threshold and Cutoff. Now what you want to do is essentially move these along the row that they're on until you find a clear image where there's not a lot of seeping through of the image behind, the image that's been overlaid on the green screen. This is also dependent on the lighting that was used when you film the footage of the green screen and the effectiveness of how well you did that. But let's see if we can clean this up. So I'll right click this tab here, and you can see I've obviously gone too far. So we'll bring it back. I'm able to close up a little bit of the blue on my pants, but you can see it begin to spread along the lockers in the back, and we don't want that. So we'll find it as clean as we can there, then move to cutoff, and we'll move it along, and you'll see everything. See, obviously I've gone too far at this point. If I bring it back just a little bit, we can see the clarity of the image. There are a few marks along the way but that is more of a product of the green screen. I actually might be able to clean that up slightly. It looks like those little things will stay, but that is just a product of how well I was able to film the green screen. Um, and with that, your video should work. You've achieved green screen video overlay. Um, Another product of lighting is this green outline around myself. Obviously you want to avoid that. In this case, that's not the purpose of this video, so we won't dive too much into that. Okay, now we're going to put objects in motion. We're going to apply what we did in green screen video overlay, but now we're going to overlay a photograph or a picture and then put that picture in motion. So we'll right click on the video we want to edit, which is that one right there. We'll drag it down to video 1 and audio 1. And we do want it to match the format of the clip, so we'll right or left click yes. Then we want to overlay this image here, so we'll left click on here, drag it down to video 2, release. We want to click yes, left click yes. We do want to fix the quality problems in the video clips. We do not want to apply video merge, left click no. Obviously this photo is too large, and so if you see around the edges there are small white dots. If you grab these dots, you'll see the triangle, the cursor turn into two triangles, which you can use to make it smaller or larger. And in this case we probably want it about this size. And then if you need to drag it around, you click on the image, find the plus inside of the circle, click the center of that and drag it. Oh, looks like I had the wrong thing clicked. Make sure you have the image you want clicked. Grab the center of that circle and drag it where you would like it, just like that. So I'm guessing about there. Now we want to apply the video green screen overlay. So go into edit, left click edit, scroll down until you find keying, left click green screen key and click apply. Now this applies very well, and so we don't need to do any alterations. We'll just leave it as it is. But now we want to put this object in motion. So I'm going to move this forward to the exact moment where I begin to walk, which is right, looks like right there. So before you put the image in motion, you want to split the clip beneath the overlaid image. This gives it a point of reference, and so it won't mess up the movement of your image. It'll use the split location as a starting point. So you click on the clip that you want to split, you come over here to the scissors, left click there, and as you can see, there are now two images indicated by that line. So now, also if you need to see more frames and work in more detail, you can come over to this slide bar over here, which allows you to change how many frames you're able to work in. This allows you to work in greater detail. It's not expanding the length of the video, it's just allowing you to work with more frames. So now let's find that exact frame where I first bring in the thought bubble. Perfect. So now with that highlighted, we'll come over to Edit Effects, which is under the Edit tab. Left click Edit Effects. Under the Motion tab, we will click the stopwatch, which will, let me make sure it's perfectly lined up, there we go, which will put our icon in motion. So we click on that stopwatch, a left click, and now this black dot has appeared, which is what allows us to move the image in time. So now we'll go to the exact moment when I go off screen right there. And now we'll drag this to about the spot where I would be off screen, so about right there. Now, as we move this backwards, we can see the thought bubble following along perfectly with me. So you have now successfully put your object in motion. In fact, let's take a second and let's see how it looks. So it doesn't appear until I'm right there, and then it follows me just as I walk through. Now for some of you, it may not be as cut and dry. Maybe you want more motion within your object, and so what you want to do is if you want to change the direction of your object halfway, you'll come to a point, you want to split the image that you're putting in motion, this top one, by coming back to that scissor, left clicking on the scissors, and you'll also want a point of reference on the clip beneath you, and so left click a split on the clip beneath. And now you want to undo what you've already put in motion, so come back to the motion tab for the thought bubble, and you will undo by left clicking on the stopwatch, left click OK. Now left click again on the stopwatch. Now you have the opportunity to change the direction of the object. So we'll move it forward, and maybe we want to drop it straight down, and so we'll move it to about this point, and we'll drag it down like this. So now as I come into frame, it will go one direction for a certain amount of time, and then we'll change direction at a given point. So let's check and see how it looks. So again, we see it doesn't appear until I get to that point. I walk, and then it changes direction instantly. So if your object that you're overlaying needs more motion or needs more direction, this is a way for you to change direction, change the speed of how it's moving. There's several different things you can do here. The third and final part of this video will deal with the alteration of speed of footage. So this is pretty simple, but we'll go over it. You'll left click on the image that you intend to alter, left click and drag down into video 1. The format does not match, and so we want to click left click yes. So now we can see the footage here. We do not want to apply video merge, so left click no. And so now this is just footage of my brother running. Give it 1 second. So we can see it's pretty simple footage, but if we want him to move much faster than he is actually running, then we can left or right click on the video down here in video 1 and go to time stretch. Left click time stretch. You can see the speed. Anything higher than 100% will make it go fast, and anything lower than 100% will make it go slower than the original footage. So for here, let's make him go faster. We'll go 150 just to give a good indication. And then you can click enter or left click OK. We can see that it shortened the video, and now we can left click play. We can see that he's moving significantly faster. Now let's say we want to slow him down. As I mentioned before, we want to go below 100 to slow him down from the original footage. So we left click or right click on the footage in video 1, left click on time stretch, and so we'll go 50%. We can click enter or left click. We can see that it's expanded greatly. This will slow down the footage. Left click play and watch. We can see it moves much slower. And the quality of your footage in slow motion will depend on the frame rate of your camera. Alright, that's enough. Now we'll bring it back to normal and show one other trick you can do here. So we'll right click on the footage down to video 1, left click on time stretch. We'll bring it back up to speed by going to 100, and we'll click reverse speed. This will put the entire footage in reverse. Left click OK or click enter. And now click left click play. It's a little choppy just because the system doesn't recognize backwards footage as well as forwards. But that doesn't affect your final product. If you were to publish this, it would be smooth upon publishing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was informative. I hope you learned something. We are just barely scratching the surface on the capabilities of Adobe Premiere Elements. Just barely scratching the surface on video green screen overlay, on putting objects in motion, and time alteration. There's so many more different directions we can go, not to mention filters or basic, simple special effects that you can add to your videos. The possibilities are endless. Another potential future video is how to actually assemble a green screen frame, set the green screen up, where to put the lights, how to get the best shot. There's so many different directions we can go. And I know that was something I mentioned that this video would not cover at the beginning, but it would be a good precursor for this video. Again, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.